the temptation for women, endless. It's endless. It hits you at a certain age. At a certain age, you're a boy. You say, hey, you want to go hang out with the girls? Ew, they're disgusting. Right? When you're little, girls are. My boys tell me that. Boys, Abba, let's go to the masjid and let's not take the girls. Okay, let's do that. Because girls are not like boys. Yes, you're right. They're not like boys. And I don't like them. Okay, I got it. Okay? But that starts changing a little bit. And an age comes when, then you don't know what to do with these feelings at a young age. You're like 10, 11 years old, and you're like, last year I used to think girls were stupid and ugly and all of that, but now in my head somewhere, this is kind of pretty. But do my friends think like this too, or is it just me? So maybe I should just, punch her or something to express my infatuation with her. Alright, so it comes out in strange ways, but the feeling is starting to come. And then you start seeing everybody else around you start talking about things like, and of course in our times it's even worse with the relationship between men and women being so open, right? It's so open, it's so everywhere. So our children, this is actually a big challenge for us, because our children technically, generally, they tend to mimic what the adults do, right? Children observe the behavior of adults very carefully, and they try to act like adults because they feel like this is what they want to be. So if you take a briefcase to work every day, your son will pick up a briefcase and want to take it to work, So if we're in a society where affection between men and women, the idea of romance, romantic movies, public displays of affection, indecent kinds of conversation, behavior and talk, these things are just commonplace, right? And even in children's entertainment, they slip in these kinds of things. Like I personally have a really deeply rooted hatred for Disney. I have a deeply rooted hatred for this company. Because on the one hand, they'll make great entertainment for children. It's fantastic stuff. And then they'll slip in sexuality, right? They'll slip in a boy kissing a girl, or they'll slip in somebody likes somebody else, or they'll just innuendos, they'll slip it right in. And this is supposed to be children's, entertainment. But it's becoming normalized, right? The same thing will happen on Nickelodeon and other TV shows that are supposed to be actually for younger children, but they'll slip in themes. And slip in ideas like, the prom or dating, or I really like that boy and he's coming over, don't embarrass me in front of him, etc., etc. They'll have these kinds of themes where girls are overly conscious of boys, boys about girls, and things like that, right? First time I was shocked about this stuff is when I watched Jimmy Neutron. You guys ever seen Jimmy Neutron? Okay, Jimmy Neutron, that was really disturbing to me, because that was supposed to be a really goofy, kiddie show. And the girl really dislikes him, but secretly likes him, and he dislikes her, but he secretly likes her, and they keep suggesting it in the, so this idea of romance is being pumped into children who have no concept of what it is. They're artificially injected with these thoughts. And so it's like kindergarten or first grade in public schools, and they're having a prom. Who are you taking to the prom? And this kid's, who's your girlfriend? And these kids doesn't even know what girlfriend means. They don't even know what that means. They just know that you're supposed to like a girl. Because they're not at that age where they can process these things in a natural way. So it's unnaturally introduced to them, and it's harmful. It's very, very harmful. So the reason I'm bringing all of this up is because the ayah says that men were given the temptation for women. It's there. But it hits you at a certain age. It comes into you at a certain age. And if you introduce it at an age earlier than that, it will damage your personality. You will have an unnatural understanding and an unnatural experience of what it means to have relationships, to have even a romantic relationship. Because at the end of the day, that is what is going to be the relationship between you and your wife. It's going to be a romantic relationship. But you're not going to be able to have a healthy one if it's corrupted so early. If it's so corrupted so early. And the shows I just mentioned are still subtle. It's bad, but it's still subtle. Right? So unfortunately, it's a hideous word. I hate saying it, but pornography has become a reality. And it's become such a rampant and widespread reality that there are kids that are exposed to this stuff at a very early age. There are actually now research papers by sociologists, psychologists, research now showing that children are so versed with their mobile technologies that they've learned how to hide this stuff. They can download this stuff and learn how to hide it. And there's two forms of it, online and offline, like magazines and pictures and and images and things like that. Or there's digital stuff like videos and downloadable files and pictures and things like that. And even if your child is not exposed to it directly, there may be a friend at school who showed it to them, or they're just sitting at the lunch table and somebody next to them is watching this stuff. And what are you doing? I'm just having fun, whatever. It's not a big deal. What's the big deal? It's kind of funny, right? Look at it, it's kind of funny. Because they don't, they saw somebody else do it, and it trickled its way down to them, right? So because this is such a rampant disease in the society we live in, and also it's a global problem. So I know there are people watching in Pakistan, India, other places in the world. It's not like this problem is an American problem or a European problem or an Australian problem. This is now a global problem. The advent of the internet, you can do wonderful things with it, but it overwhelmingly has some great harms to humanity too, right? So this natural feeling that we have, this attraction that we have towards the opposite gender can be corrupted very early because of these images, because of this exposure. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, because we have a lot of things to talk about today, under this ayah, is that this is a conversation every single parent has to have with their child. And it's going to be difficult, but you have to have it. You have to have it. That if it's not your child, it's your child's friend's friend. It's almost impossible to assume that our children will not be exposed to this. And there's only so much we can shelter them from the world around them. We have to teach them how to deal with the world. The more we try to hide them and protect them from it and keep pretending that it's never going to hit them, we're just deluding ourselves from reality. Right? And I'm terrified at the thought that my children should be exposed to something like that, but I'm even more terrified at the thought that they are exposed and I never guided them. And I never